Here are people who have had an insane amount of plastic surgeries. Number 9. Penny Brown. Remember that old movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? If you do, then you probably know who Jessica Rabbit is. To be honest, Jessica Rabbit was probably the best looking animated character to ever hit the big screen with her long red hair and pretty much impossible figure. And let's not forget that voice too. So it's really no surprise that someone would want to be her. Well, Penny Brown was that person, although to be honest, she's still got a bit to go. Growing up, she thought of Jessica Rabbit as the model of feminine beauty, and she's tried to make the dream come true. Penny's increased the middle of her body through artificial enhancements. From her already ridiculous original H cup size, she's now made it to an O cup, and she plans on going up even more. Penny also uses a corset to make her waist tiny. For 4 full months, she wore it for 23 hours a day. This could cause some severe medical conditions, but she claims she's had none of these problems wearing the corsets. Painful or not, no one can deny her commitment for something that moves internal organs around. Number 8. Valeria Lukyanova. Everyone knew someone who played with Barbie dolls growing up, and some of those people probably even claimed when they were little girls that they would want to be Barbies when they grow up. Until they actually grow up and change their minds, of course. However, there's always someone that takes things a bit too far. Valeria Lukyanova is most often called the human Barbie. However, Valeria wasn't in on the Barbie branding. She preferred to call herself Amachu, a name she claimed had appeared to her in a dream. Valeria isn't only popular for her looks, with her big round eyes and her long blonde hair, but she's also very controversial. If you think vegans are ridiculous with their diet, wait till you hear about Valeria's diet. Listen to this. She insists that she's had no surgeries except for her implants, and that her doll-like features are due to breatharianism, which is the supposed ability to survive on only light and air. Yeah. Okay, whatever it is, what I do know is that there's definitely a lot of artificial things that's making her look the way she does. Number 7, ALINA KOVALEVSKAYA. Seriously, how many human Barbies are there? What's happening in Ukraine, and why is it everyone there wants to look like a doll? ALINA KOVALEVSKAYA is only in her early 20s, but she's already known as the best-looking human Barbie. Unlike Valeria, however, ALINA actually looks like her beauty might be somewhat natural. She has big eyes, but it just looks that she makes appear bigger with the help of well-placed makeup. ALINA also has a super long curvy hair that gives her a resemblance between Rapunzel and some random Disney characters with long hair. As expected, she says she constantly has a lot of random dudes asking her to marry. I mean, when you have some super popular social media accounts, that's basically something that just comes with the territory. Also, she's actually had conversations with the original human Barbie, Valeria, but apparently things didn't exactly go well. Basically, it was the controversial opinions Valeria has about interracial couples that made ALINA decide not to be friends with, and to be honest, who really wants to be friends with someone like that? Number 6, KRYSTINA BUTEL. Once upon a time, there was a 15-year-old girl walking down a busy street in Ibiza when an old man shouted after her. When the girl and the friend she was with turned around, the old man asked them if they wanted to have their caricature done. To be honest, this is probably a scene that plays over and over in many cities. And just like in many other tourists on vacation in famous cities tend to do, little KRYSTINA BUTEL and her friends stopped to have their picture done by some random artist. At the time, young KRYSTINA didn't think it was going to be anything more than a souvenir. But 10 minutes later, when the artist showed his work, somehow it changed her life. Right then and there, she knew what she was meant to be and how she was meant to look. For over the next 15 years, KRYSTINA dedicated her life to look exactly like the drawing of her. Giant plump lips, big lashes, full makeup, and a happy aura all over. KRYSTINA's actually had 7 implants to get the 36K size she is now. Among all the surgeries and procedures she's had, she spent about $300,000. She's always tan thanks to the constant use of sunbeds, and she says ever since her transformation, she's never been happier. Can we ship these Martians back? Number 5. Victoria Wilde. Victoria Wilde is a former model from Cannes. Yep, this lady's made it her life goal to basically look exactly like a plastic doll. This former Latvian promo girl has spent more than $40,000 on surgeries for her plastic body. Interestingly enough, Victoria has a degree in business, but she actually decided to turn her back on her academic background because, according to her, it's, quote, easier to make money when you're beautiful. Well, that's definitely true. Things are easier for attractive people, but I'm not too sure those are the words I'd use here. Victoria worked in the fashion industry until she discovered surgery at the age of 27, and that's when things started blowing up for her. Things around her chest, that is. No matter what anyone has to say about it, she doesn't care. She's had nose jobs, permanent lip implants, Botox, in addition to her G-cup enhancements. She's said in several interviews she loves how people look at her on the street. Victoria says it all began when she was a teenager, when she was very thin and very blonde. In fact, apparently people used to call her Barbie. But Victoria didn't like her small stature, so she started saving up for the body that she wanted. So far, after 5 chest augmentations and several other procedures, she says it's been worth it for what she wanted. Number 4. Heidi Montag. You guys remember Heidi Montag from The Hills? Back in 2007, Montag decided to undergo several procedures on the same day to basically keep her staying in Hollywood. Heidi Montag was once just a regular girl living in Colorado, but after meeting Lauren Conrad, apparently she had some Hollywood dreams she needed to come true. Everything changed when she met Dr. Frank Ryan. Montag says it was him who pointed out everything that was wrong with her body. So, Montag decided she had to change herself, get rid of everything less than perfect in her body. That's when she decided to undergo 10 procedures in just one day. She had a brow lift, a nose job, her ears pinned, 2 breast enlargements, her back scooped out, fat injected into her cheekbones, and lipo on her inner and outer thighs. Basically, Montag had a complete physical transformation. It was only years later she admitted that she was just emotionally empty and spent at that point, and it was actually the toughest time of her life. Number 3. Claire Leeson. Some people just don't feel comfortable within their own skin. To be honest, that's pretty much everyone on this list. That's clearly what happened to Claire Leeson, who's now called the Kim Kardashian double. Who would have thought 10 years ago that Kim K would get so famous she'd actually inspire another human being to want to look just like her? She actually thought it was a good idea to copy Kim's look after watching the Kardashian show beginning in 2007. Claire spent almost $40,000 to look like Kim K, but after a few years of living in Kim's shadow, she finally realized that it wasn't worth it. She actually began resenting being compared to Kim K as she was constantly ridiculed online for her look. Claire blames her own insecurity and naivete for attaching herself to Kim, saying it was an urge for attention. Claire now doesn't want to look like Kim anymore, and she's been trying her best to break away from her. She admitted that she wasn't ever happy when she was trying to look like Kim. Hey, at least she can admit her mistakes, and she now knows who she really wants to be, which is herself. Number 2. Donatella Versace. Versace, 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 Versace. Donatella Versace and her wildly famous brand may just be forever linked to the rich and famous. She's well known for her talent and her style and her bold designs. At 60, she's still the chief designer for Versace. However, she's also well known for her not-so-natural looks. She's done so many things to her face, she just really doesn't even look remotely real. She's more like a wax figure that's pretty much melting. Donatella denied until very recently that she had done anything to herself except for a tiny little bit of Botox, in her own words. But come on, let's be for real. Eventually, she admitted she had gone in for some lifting and enhancing. She says it's not easy to look like her, and it's certainly not a natural look. She spends thousands of dollars every year in cosmetics, including creams and water from the deepest underground lakes and other things that probably have no hope of working. Maybe one day science will be able to solve the problem of aging, but until that day comes, it's probably best just to age naturally. Number 1. Rodrigo Alves. Rodrigo Alves is the one and only human Ken doll thanks to the magic of plastic surgery. He's had a ridiculous 51 plastic surgeries and 103 cosmetic procedures. He's actually had 10 nose jobs. He's already spent over $500,000 on his procedures, and number is probably going to go up. Rodrigo himself has said several times that he's a surgery addict, but he did say he wanted to educate people about plastic surgeries and other aesthetic procedures. His aim is to break the taboo that surrounds cosmetic enhancements, but he also wants to give the real pros and cons of going under the knife. His latest procedures included a nose job, which is no surprise since he's had 9 already, and an operation to make his eyes look like a cat's. Apparently, Rodrigo is looking to become another human Barbie when he hits his 50s. Whoops! Here's what's next. The bizarre photos show Morgan doing weird stuff, such as pretending to eat a pile of cash, a mixed stack as he cleverly referred to it, or talking into the money as though it were a phone. TBH, I think Floyd and 50 others did it better.